Hi everyone, this is Melissa again with you. In this presentation, I have named it Contradiction at its Finest. You can probably guess why. Yes, I did pick Herbert Simon's um, The Proverbs of Administration. I will be discussing here, not giving you a quick overview of what it is, but also how his theory can be effectively applied to management and how sometimes maybe it just might not work. Maybe his theory might not work. So to give you a quick summary, in his writing, he analyzes each step in the what we call then the accepted administrative principles. These principles were established in order to increase efficiency of an organization. These principles were specialization, unit of command, limiting the span of control, and grouping of workers based on purpose, process, clientele. I always forget the fourth one. Um, what he was saying, if this is followed, it provides a straightforward method of managing an organization efficiently. Now, what he says is that uh, for these for all these principles, there is an acceptable opposite principle, uh, sort of like Newton's third law, for which states that for every force there's an equal and opposite reaction. For example, he talks a little bit about specializing workers. As it turns out, it's not as simple as it sounds. I mean, sure, specializing in an area makes a subject matter expert, but in making a subject matter expert, should they not be the ones making the decision on the spot if need be, rather than going up the regular channels, up the chain of command to get a decision from the top down? Well, are we really, if that is the case, are we really maximizing efficiency of an organization if we have to wait until word gets down the pipe? What he states here is that specialization can be, in some instances, contradictory of the chain of command principle. However, no matter where we are, no matter what country, it is widely accepted that in order to avoid delays in actions, the orders of one and only one person should be followed to avoid any kind of muddled or mess or whatever you might want to call it. So, considering the contradictions of the principles, um, if the principles are followed, he proposed that each principle be tested against science-based research. So rather than following it to the T without any solid proof, he he encourages the need for establishing empirical data for every principle. So in the workplace, um, we need constants in order to achieve our goals and our objectives. Um, in math and science, just to kind of draw a picture here, we have constants that no matter what, they are always true in every situation. Take, for instance, pi. Pi is always equals to 3.14. Okay, why is it that it is always 3.14? Well, our evidence is the equation of a circle. And how we get that is that the distance around the circle divided by the distance across the circle is always 3.14. This constant allows us to problem solve, such as the area and circumference of a circle. So how do we apply it to life? So in my line of work, eggs, okay. Eggs have a hazard. Well, let me back. There's a bacteria that gets people sick, Salmonella. Well, evidence shows that Salmonella is associated with eggs, and the CDC states that uh, there are so many hospitalizations or deaths with cases that are associated with Salmonella poisoning because of the consumption of eggs. So Um, I guess what I'm trying to say here is based on these facts, based on these evidence, um, we make something that is constant. We narrow our mission statement. Our mission statement states that part of, or at least part of our mission statement states that we ensure that eggs have been properly labeled, transported, refrigerated, and are wholesome and safe to eat. So we have developed policies and regulations in order to meet our mission statement. So if we hold this mission statement true, theoretically, we should always make decisions that will be constant in order to meet our mission statement. Like I said, this is theoretically, right? So why doesn't it work? Human behavior is not constant. The concepts of salmonella and what we need to do in our mission statement, they may be constant, but it does not mean that the decisions we make will be constant. Why? Because it depends on the perception of an individual making the decisions, the current situation that we're in. And sometimes are we making exceptions to the rule? In order to have some constants, we end up generalizing. I mean, and this is something that is done when we're reviewing facts and trying to narrow down what the procedures or whatever it is that we're trying to do, right? But human behavior becomes a variable. When we generalize, we end up with if-then situations. But again, it just always depends. It comes down to the variability of human behavior, which changes the decisions we make. The point I'm trying to make here is that human behavior is always a variable, and we cannot make it constant. We can account for variability, but that's as far as it can go. So based on that information, is the mission statement always true? Like I said, do we make exceptions to that rule? And as it turns out, it is. It's just human tendency. And this is where I don't feel that his theory can be applied to a degree where science is used, because science is based on evidence, it's based on facts, it's based irrefutable evidence, and human behavior is just always changing. This pretty much finalizes my presentation. If you have any questions or comments or even any feedback on how to make this presentation better, or the insight of this presentation, please feel free to let me know. Thank you, and y'all have a great day.